So I was going to show you guys. Let me see if I can climb over the toys that are in my walkway and find my shoes. They were here. Hang on. Nothing like sandals and fuzzy socks. They don't fit the same. Anyway, I was going to show you guys. So I've got this really ugly area over here by our wood pile. It's clay and rock, and peppermint is one of those invasive species, right? But it happens to be my favorite. So I thought this hillside right here is absolutely worthless. And it goes down into, you know, a pile of boulders and then a pile of clay and then the driveway after that. So there's nothing, you know, it's the driveway here. There's nothing, if I plant mint here, that it could, you know, take over that I would be unhappy about. So, you know, it's also mixed in with a bunch of weeds and wild blackberries and all that. But I planted a little plant of mint here and it has gone wild. Here and then over here in this mess, I have lemon balm. The idea, of course, being that I will never run out. So then this year I decided to, that was last year I planted that, or maybe 2 years ago. And then, you know, of course you plant something in an obscure spot and men bring in heavy equipment. And so it got done. We put a water line down through here. If you can kind of see that trail, we put a water line starting here down through there. So the mint that was planted there got dug up, but it came back with a vengeance. I'm so happy. So then I grabbed some sprigs because you probably know this already, but I'm going to show you. Let me see if I can find one in here. Okay, look. On the bottom of that are some little roots. Okay, and they're here. So you can grab it and stick that in the ground and water it in, and I cut them back. You know, I'll strip the leaves up to, if I was going to stick this in the ground, hang on. Okay, if I was going to stick this in the ground, I would probably take off these leaves and these, wrap that around in the dirt, and trim this off to about here, and let that be a plant. And so then, you know, because with most herbs, where I've undid that, now these are going to come out and create what this was. It's going to double, right? Does that make sense? I'm saying that's so weird. And then dry that or use it in fresh peppermint tea, which is so good. And if you don't know how to make peppermint tea or you've never tried, you take this, you can, I normally just throw them in there on their little stems, unless I'm drying it for storage, and then, you know, I need the storage space. But I'll normally just come out and clip a big bunch and then throw it in my biggest pot, you know, like a normal, not like a huge stock pot, but like my biggest normal size pot, you know. I don't know how many, is it in quarts? I don't know how many quarts it is. Anyway, I'll throw it in a big pot with, you know, just cover it with water, maybe fill the pot halfway with water. And then steep that for 10 minutes or so, you know, turn it on, get the water to boiling, cook it for about 10 minutes. And then I will sweeten it with either sugar or honey. It's so good both ways. So good. And then put that in the fridge and use it as a concentrate for iced peppermint tea when it's really hot. It will literally cool your body from the inside. It has the whole menthol property. You'll get all tingly. It's amazing. Amazing. But then also my favorite tea probably ever, my favorite hot tea, it is, and we'll make it. I sold some last year. It's kind of a happy accident that I came upon. I was trying to recreate a recipe that I had. It was a friend of mine that she drank this particular type of tea for years, and then they discontinued it. And it was one that she had shared with so many people, this tea. So I started thinking about like what ingredients it would have in it and kind of compiled it together. And it had peppermint, the one that I made had peppermint, spearmint, a little bit of basil, a little bit of orange peel, and cinnamon. So good. And really fast because I'm here. My lemon thyme. This is one that I thought would be easier to propagate. I really assumed that this would have the whole roots on the bottom thing too, and I guess it kind of does. But it's not quite as happy about being moved. It's not rooting into the ground anywhere else. It's just kind of stuck there. Stuck right there. And while we're right here, check out that flower. So if you do not have any purslane, you should get you some. It is really, really easy to propagate. Really easy. It spreads, you know, see how it's kind of got this whole spreading thing going? These flowers are like neon fluorescent. They are gorgeous. And they're edible. Their leaves are juicy. Let me see if I can get it to juice for you. You see it? They're juicy and they taste like spinach. Kid you not, they really do. They taste like spinach. Where did I put the thing that oh, my mint. A little saltier than spinach, but anyway, super good. And they grow like a weed because they are a weed. I actually found some. I'll take you over here and show you. I just think this is so cool. Watch. So we had chickens here. Look at how beautiful this grass is. It's not that beautiful everywhere, but it is that beautiful right here. So I had chickens in this area last fall, a bunch of meat chicks, and they beat the fire out of this section of grass. And so it was pretty bare. But I noticed when I was mowing the last time that all of this is purslane. It's just gone crazy. It's super good for you. It's full of vitamins. I mean, I'll be honest, not ever made a meal out of it. But I'm happy to know that it's here. If I ever needed to make a meal out of it, I mean, I guess I could. One more thing since we're right here. Speaking of animals in sections of the yard, look. So these are a bunch of tomato plants. That are just growing kind of wild right here in this section of my yard. We had a little pig here earlier this spring. We had his house here, and he's been gone for several months, but you can see where he patted all this down too. It's really rough. And anyway, I had 62 volunteer tomato plants come up right here. 62. So they are scattered all over the countryside. They are in my garden now. They are at my dad's in a aquaponics system. They are at a community garden. They are everywhere. They're everywhere. I don't know what kind they are. It will be a surprise to us all. Oh, I forgot. Here's two. Oh shoot, I just ripped my earring right out of my ear. What? Two of them. These actually were not from that spot in the yard. They were growing out of my sidewalk. So I got like literally out of the cracks in the sidewalk. They were growing right here and here. And I had a basil plant come up right here. So funny. So anyway, that's one of them. That's the other one. It's not, oh, check it out. It's got a little baby mater on it. Ah! How cute are you, little guy? Good work. And then I've got a sweet potato down here that is putting on more slips. I took the slips off of it last week. I just set it there and forgot about it, and it put slips on like crazy. So you know what? I figured I'm not losing anything. I stuck them in the garden. I pulled them off, I rooted them, and I stuck them in the garden. This is a bunch of purslane that I pulled out of my yard just to see. Like, it's there. I want to see what happens. It makes a beautiful hanging basket. Really, really pretty. And this is some of the basil that I propagated. Stuck it in water. You see how big the original plant was? So funny. So it's finally starting to grow. Some of the oregano that I pulled up. Kind of the same deal over here, but my chickens, I think, are having their way with it. But I've got some basil, oregano. Anyway, and then of course I still bought plants. The dollar section at Walmart. Good Lord. Here's another pot that I grabbed a bunch of oregano from the garden and stuck it in here. It had roots on the end, so I just shoved it down in the dirt and watered it good, and it's doing great. I've already harvested this once. I'm going to let it fill in. I think we'll see how much patience I have. Anyway, I'm experimenting with a lot of things. I feel like gardening is just one big experiment. It is absolutely for the ADD person, you know, because you can do like all sorts of things. I'm walking around with one earring and I still haven't put it in. Oh, wait, look, here's more. This is a tomato plant. Okay, so here's my flower bed, right? This is a tomato plant that started down here. This dude is massive. I don't know what's happening to my, unless it's just been too hot. I don't know, but look. It's big. And then he's got arms down here. I'm probably making y'all sick with my videography. More purslane. Anyway, I disturbed the bantams. They were hiding in there. Sorry, babies. Anyway, for whatever random reason, there's a walk around my backyard trash piles today. So glad you could be here. Hope you guys enjoy this weather. It is absolutely glorious.